Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. 30 seconds before we went live, our YouTube stream decided to die. So I do apologize. Right, we are back. Good morning. I hope you're all well. I will give people a few minutes to catch up with the correct stream. And then we will begin. Let's let me go and reconnect everything. And absolutely typical. Right, just give me a couple of minutes. And we shall see. There was a glitch somewhere. Okay, we're back. So, my apologies. It's 11:02, 26th of April at 11:02. $74,000 is our target. We're going to keep that there until we hit it. We did break 122,000 fans yesterday, so thank you to everybody that has been following us. We are approaching, I believe, our first anniversary on some platforms. So we might have a party next Wednesday, you never know. We do also have some Maneki to give away. There will be a giveaway probably next Wednesday on the show. We'll probably go and do a live from the office next Wednesday. So if you want to participate, information and details are in the video that we have made about Maneki. So what are we going to go through today? Well, we're going to have the usual. We're going to go through the markets, X-Files. We're going to have, that's supposed to say BTC cut me down. We've got A16Z warning. They are a rather large investment company. Last year, they opened an office in, I believe, London. So they are starting to look to move away from America. We'll go through that in a minute. A $4 XRP, is that possible? We're going to look at $50 million in gaming rewards. Which platform is offering that? I'm going to let you know. We then have our gold versus BTC, which is our article that we didn't manage to go through yesterday because we ran out of time. And then at the end of the show, we're going to go through Aero Finance, a suggestion made by one of our viewers, Peter, who asked us to look at it. I've had a look. So we're going to go through the website, and I don't know if I've got the price action, but we've got a few other bits of information about Aero Finance. So I do apologize for us cutting off. I think the majority of people that were watching the stream have now come back in. So we will go through the markets. Market cap then is up 0.5%, believe it or not. We're up to 2.37 trillion. The volume is pretty down. We're under 100 billion. We were doing reasonably well at the start of the month and at the end of March. That's come down. Dominance, Bitcoin dominance is still 53.5%. ETH still 16%. No real changes there. Bitcoin has had a bit of a choppy few days. We're going to go through that. And that is, of course, why the theme of the show today is, thank God, it's Bitcoin Friday. Thank God it's Friday Bitcoin. I don't know. Listen, it was late. Thank God it's Friday Bitcoin. I think Bitcoin needs a breather. Peter, I also have received your email. So I have your email. I will reply to you at some point today. So Bitcoin 64, ETH 31. A few other movers. BNB hasn't been doing too badly recently. That's something that I'm going to be making a video about. One of our Telegram users, Rick, is always first to tell me what's happening in the world of BNB. So I am going to go and check that out probably today. What's up then? Wormhole is up, but as you can see, over 7 days, no movement. BTC is up. Bonk is still going. 1.7 billion. It could easily go to 2.5, 3.5 billion. And there's reasons why. I've made a video about Bonk. We covered Bonk yesterday, but it's having a good run. Arweave is up. Near is up. Do you remember I picked Near Protocol yesterday? And I said very specifically, I was going to start dollar cost averaging into Near Protocol. I bought my first bit yesterday. So I'm going to keep buying near, not massive bags. Remember, some of these coins should be very small allocations in your portfolio. I might end up with only $500 to $1,000 of near. I'm not going to go and put $100,000 into the project. I'm only going to put a small amount in. So I might only be buying 5 or 10 near a week or a day. So that's the plan with near. eCash is up. Pepe isn't doing too bad. So quite a few gainers. Losers then, not many. Ronin, Immutable X. Now, this coin at $2 is getting down towards the price that I want to look at getting it for. Anything under $2 for me is a good buy on Immutable X. So I will be keeping an eye on that one as well. It could be a very expensive May for me, this one. Pendle is down a touch. EOS is down. Ondo is down. I wouldn't fade Ondo. Certainly not. Good morning to you all. Everybody's saying good morning. I apologize for the previous stream. It cut off 30. In fact, it cut off 38 seconds before we should have gone live. So good morning to Peter. Good morning to Fran, Diabliski, Solo Sky, Why Crypto, Hidden Agendas. Bonk will go bonkers. It certainly will. Peter bought $500, I imagine, of Aero today. And my chat is on some kind of weird loop. You know what? There's gremlins today, and I'm not happy about it. Things are not going as planned. The chat is on a loop between Diabliski and Fran, so that it's constantly saying hi, morning. You know what? I should just go back to bed, I think. I think that's the best idea for the day. Right, let's start off with some X-Files snippets from the wonderful world of Elon Musk's X. And these are in no order. It is. I know. The gremlins come after me every once in a while. So the EU has banned anonymous hosted crypto wallets and cash payments over €10,000. The war on privacy continues. There needs to be a balance between privacy and stopping unsightly individuals from abusing systems. There has to be a way to catch the criminal element. And I totally agree with that. 100%. I don't think you should go around arresting individuals who have created privacy tools. Using privacy should not automatically make you a criminal, in my opinion. Criminals, we know what they're up to, we know what they're trying to do, and we need to stop them. But criminalizing everybody is not the right way about it at all. Because in this instance, for example, crypto wallets that can hold €9,000, you only need 10 of those wallets to have €90,000. I'm not telling you how to cheat the system. I'm just saying this is what people do with wallets. They are things that you can create at the drop of a hat. It takes you 2 seconds to create a wallet. If you ban at a certain price point, they will simply send transactions under that price point. Good morning, Bullish Bull. So then, more breaking news from the basket case, which is America. CoinCensus received a Wells notice from the SEC in regards to its MetaMask wallet. Now, a Wells notice is normally something you receive in America from the SEC before they sue you. Before they take you to court, they send you a Wells notice. CoinCensus are not taking this lying down, and they have decided that rather than replying, they are going to go after the regulator, because the regulator is accusing them of holding unregulated securities, namely Ethereum. So CoinCensus have said, listen, you want a war, we'll go to war. You tell me what ETH is. Is ETH a security? So they're going to take Gary Gensler to court. Now, why is this so important? Because this directly impacts on the Ethereum ETF. The SEC will turn around in May and say, we cannot approve the Ethereum ETF because it's a security. That's what's going to happen. Now, CoinCensus quite rightly, have said, hang on a minute, nobody's proved it's a security. You're just assuming it's a security because that falls within your interests that it's a security. So they are going to take the SEC to court to prove that ETH isn't a security. And if that is the case and CoinCensus win, then there is nothing stopping the Ethereum ETF. So these things might look completely random and completely independent of each other, but they are not. They are massively connected. The same way that XRP is connected. XRP winning that case, saying that the trading of XRP on exchanges is not a security, opens the door for all of the other coins to challenge the SEC. If we can prove in court via consensus that Ethereum is a commodity and not a security, then there is nothing stopping the Ethereum ETF. So this is bigger news than many people are suggesting. And the connection between the two, as far as I'm concerned, I'm the only person so far that's mentioned the connection between the two. So if CoinCensus win and ETH isn't a security, there is nothing stopping the ETF. So we should be behind consensus in this battle. Next then, Stripe, who you may not have heard of, but Google Pay, Apple Pay, Stripe, PayPal, and a few others, they control a ridiculous share of online payments. Stripe didn't choose Ethereum base Arbitrum. It chose Solana to demo the pay with crypto. Now, why is that important? Because again, I've been saying on here for, I don't know now, probably a month, that Solana has been built for retail, Ethereum has been built for TradFi. This is another example. Why are Stripe going to Solana? It has all the volume, it has all the apps, it has the phone, it has the meme coins, it's got the culture, it's sexy looking, the UIs are amazing. Stripe has chosen Solana to demo. But Solana, as this guy quite rightly points out, it's only a sixth of the market cap of ETH. I am never going to suggest that Solana is ever going to go anywhere near ETH in size. If Solana hits $1,000 in this bull run, I will be elated. If it goes higher, fair play. But $1,000 for Solana in this bull run is my target, and my bull run ends at the end of next year. Forget the influencers that are saying it's $1,000 this month. We could get freakishly good news between now and the end of the year to get us there, but I'm going to show you why the markets have dropped as well in a minute. So Solana, again, everything that comes out is bullish from Solana at the moment. And again, we talked about Matic yesterday. I told you it was undervalued. I'm going to keep telling you about Matic. I am not telling you because I have a huge bag of Matic. I have about $1,000 of Matic. Okay, it's not even in my top 10 list of cryptocurrencies. I'm telling you because everybody is ignoring it. Sandeep, the top dog, the OG at Matic, Polygon. Franklin Templeton, and he can't spell, it's not Franklin, it's Franklin Templeton. One of the largest financial institutions in the world has enabled peer-to-peer transfers of tokenized shares, Benji, in its US government money fund on the Polygon network. Now look what's happening over when we talk about RWA, real world assets. We've covered Relio, I think it was called. Again, a good call by Peter. Real world assets are not crypto. They are fractionalizing stocks and shares and buildings and artwork and anything else that exists in the real world. They are fractionalizing it and putting it on the blockchain. It's independent of the price movement of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Polygon, look at what happened to the price of Hedera. It went up 52%, 53% on the day people assumed it was connected to BlackRock and their RWAs. It turned out to be a damp squid, and it wasn't the case. Polygon should, and I know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, should be at $1.25. before this news. And I don't know what we're at today, probably at about 70 odd cents. Don't fade Polygon. I'm not telling you to buy Polygon because that would be financial advice. I'm telling you to go and research the project. Go and type in Polygon partnerships. That'll do. Polygon partnerships. Look at the ag layer. Look at the partnerships. They're with Disney. They're with Starbucks. They're with Nike. They're with Yeezys. They're with another company, maybe somebody like Vodafone. Huge companies. The price doesn't reflect it. It's nonsense. And finally, the final X file. This is the one I've left till last. Why do you hold Bitcoin? To stop your money from being deflated. Now, I'm going to let you into a little clue here. The American government prints money. It prints a lot of money. And over the pandemic, it printed 30% of the total supply of dollars that ever existed. Now, when you print any number, 10% of your currency gets printed. Inflation will eat the value of the existing money to accommodate the new money. Now, I'm not a rocket scientist, but we printed 30% of the American dollar, and by we, I mean the American government. We saw 30% being printed. The dollar has devalued by 25% in that time. That's the issue. It's all well and good, your government printing money, but it costs you in your pocket. It's a hidden tax. You don't see it. I've talked a lot about it this week, but inflation is a killer. You know, you see people who say, oh, you know, I paid $10,000 for my house in 1967, and their house is now worth $1 million. The house has gone up in value in line with inflation plus a bit on top. If I told you I was earning $10,000 a year, you'd think that's peanuts. If I was earning $10,000 a year in 1970, that would probably be the equivalent of about $200,000 today, a year today. Inflation eats your money every single year. So when you see 5% inflation in your country, your $100, your €100, your 100 British pounds are going to be worth £95 next year. Whether it be chocolate, or sugar, or coffee, or olive oil, they go up 10 pence here, 15 cents there, whatever it might be. And suddenly, 5 years down the line, you're paying £4 for a loaf of bread when it was £2 3 years ago. You are going to get destroyed by inflation. So you are. Yes, Skyrocket. Drop me an email. More than happy to talk to you. So inflation, that's the key. Keep an eye on inflation. Nobody gets taught economics at school unless you go and do it at A-levels, but it destroys your family income. And this is, if you'd have said to me, when they printed it 3 years ago, if you said to me they've printed 30% of the American dollars in 6 months, what's going to happen? I would tell you back then that inflation was going to catch all of that and more. So over a period of the next 5 or 6 years, inflation will be accumulatively 30%. We are 3 years down the line and we've seen 25% of that 30% already in play. This is the problem. You can't print money. When you hear people say, oh, it's because of this, it's because of that, the only people in the world that can create inflation on a grand scale is your government by printing more money. Everything else is hyperbole and deflection, and I'm not going to use the word lies because that's not fair, but it is an untruth. If they hadn't have printed money, inflation may have gone a little bit higher. because of con prices and the oil prices and whatever it might be, but they are a fraction of what they have done, not just in America, but in Europe and everywhere else, because there's a huge knock-on effect. If your government printed money, then your money in your pocket today is nowhere near the value that it was 3 or 4 years ago. Now, this has died. So, Bitcoin dips to 63,000 as rate cut hopes dim. Now, I'm not going to go on too much about it. The figure came out yesterday, and inflation has gone up. The second thing that happened is GBD up because of demand. And demand normally happens when the economy is growing. So what you tend to find is an economy where GDP goes up and then inflation goes up. If you're in an economy where the GDP is falling and inflation is going up, that is no bueno. That is not good. That is really bad. So I don't think we're going to see a rate cut. It was supposed to be, I think June, we were talking about a rate cut. It's not going to happen. What does Chairman Powell do from here? Does he stick to high interest rates to force inflation down? That's what he has to do. But he's going to stall the economy. Imagine you're flying in a plane and you suddenly pull back on the wheel or the stick or whatever it's called, and you start to move up and you ascend. At some point, you will stall that plane because it doesn't have the speed and power to get where it needs to go. So you end up in this vertical ascent and you will stall the plane. And when the plane falls down, it's going to take time for the engines to restart. If he stalls the American economy, he's been trying to stall it for 2 years. How long do you think it's going to take to get it going again? A week? A month? No. It's going to take another 6 to 12 months. What is happening in November? There is an election. Is he going to be allowed to keep interest rates this high going into an election? Absolutely not. So something has to give between now and November. That is 7 months. 6 months, really. He's got 6 months to sort this out, because the next thing we're going to read in the press is, we have lost confidence in Chairman Powell. We are going to call him up in front of the Senate. You're destroying American households. And he's going to be blamed for that 30% of money that was printed in that period of time over the pandemic. And that's going to lie at his feet. And even he has said that we are entering hyperinflation in America. And hyperinflation kills economies. Weimar Republic in Germany is the most famous one. That was 100 years ago. I put a picture up the other day of the lady who was just throwing money into the fire to keep herself warm. Don't listen to people telling you it's because of Eastern Europe. It's not. It's because Biden and his cronies printed too much money. And this, again, this is a terrible, terrible headline for America. A16Z, crypto recommends startup founders never publicly sell tokens in America. 10, 15 years ago, this was unheard of. If you wanted to start a tech company, you went to America. Why? Money, venture capitalists, different states with capital gains tax advantages, or startup profits where you don't pay profits for 5 years. All kinds of things in America to help promote business. We're at a stage now where the largest investment firms in crypto are telling you to start up somewhere else. Why? Because they're going to take you to court and it's going to cost you millions of dollars to defend yourself for something you shouldn't have to defend yourself with. So the SEC argues that nearly every token should be registered under the securities laws. Nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. So this is the crypto arm of Andreessen Horowitz. A16Z Crypto is they're warning founders to avoid America. Public sales outside the US, private sales of equity and tokens can all be done in a compliant manner without being subject to registration requirements or security laws. The problem is, in America, they have this very vague rule, which is, if I sell you something and you buy it on the proviso that it's going to go up in value, that's a security. And it's such a flawed statement, because if I have a pack of Pokemon cards and I open those cards and I've got Pikachu, I don't know, with a little yellow one, and I sell you that Pikachu card for $10,000 and you buy it, you know damn well it's worth $30,000. So you buy it off me knowing that the value of it is going to go up. Now, according to the SEC, that is a security. Collectibles are a security. Classic cars are a security. You can't have a blanket law, for the love of... You can't have a law so vague that says it's a security. No, it's not a security. There are different types of assets. Commodities like oil and sugar and gas. They are commodities, but you still invest in them expecting the price to go up. If oil is $30 a barrel, buy it. Buy stocks in oil at $30 a barrel. When it gets to $80 or $90 a barrel, sell it. Wait for it to come down and buy it again. That is trading a commodity. Oil is not a security. The Howey test is a better example of if it ticks so many boxes, but it's utter nonsense. And Gary Gensler is wholly responsible for this. So he explains that initial coin offerings often met all conditions of the Howey test for determining whether it can be classified as a security. It's a contract, scheme, or transaction where there is an investment of money in a common enterprise with a reasonable expectation of profits based on the management or entrepreneurial efforts of others. Buying a Pokemon card is a security based on that statement. Absolute nonsense. This goes, by the way, with yesterday when I was saying that they want to tax you 25% on your unrealized gains. So if you own a Pokemon card that is worth $30,000 and you paid $10,000 of it, you owe them $5,000 in whatever, in tax. Are you supposed to cut a sixth of your Pokemon card off, put it in an envelope and send it to the IRS? How does that work? Because you still have unrealized gains in assets that cannot easily be liquidated. You'd have to sell the car. You'd have to sell the Pokemon card. Now, if you're going to be specific and say, well, now it only applies to stocks and shares, well, if it only applies to stocks and shares, why are you trying to apply it to Bitcoin? Oh, well, it's stocks and shares and crypto. Can you see the problem? America is tying itself in knots, and it's Biden that's doing it. And I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I don't live over there. What I'm saying is Biden and his cronies need to leave, and either a proper Democrat party come in or a proper Republican party come in, because this is absolute playground pantomime nonsense. Everything I'm reading out here is just an utter waste of time. We shouldn't be spending energy talking about fairy tales about, well, you have to pay tax on a Pokemon card, but you can't sell a Pokemon card, but you're going to go to prison if you don't. Or you've created a secure wallet, so we're going to send you to prison because we think that's illegal. You can't just make up rules. Utter nonsense. Anyway, we're going to move on before I carry on ranting. Let's talk about something that is a success, and that is XRP. Let me just very quickly refresh. By the way, if you are new here, please make sure to like and subscribe. Press the follow button, whatever you've got there. Press them all. Good morning, Tariq. Peter, is it right? Polygon, well, yeah, there are. I mean, don't forget, Wales are not necessarily Wales. Wales could also be the treasury of Polygon. XRP is the same. XRP is a very large treasury. And some projects, decentralization isn't black and white. It's scales of grey. So you will have a project that is 100% decentralized where there is no major wallet. For more centralized projects, such as Polygon, XRP, they are more centralized. They are more like a corporate enterprise than a decentralized project. XRP has a very, very large treasury. When you look at the wallets that hold XRP, you will see a large concentration. That is more than likely going to be the treasury. The other thing is, you will see, oh, SHIB Inu, 35% is held by one wallet. No, that wallet is the wallet of an exchange. So I'm not going to mention names because we are streaming on certain exchanges. That wallet is the exchange wallet of all of the users on that exchange. So you see it all the time as well. If you follow whale alerts, they normally show you these kind of things. Things like SHIB Inu, even in some instances, the Bitcoin wallets, some of the very large Bitcoin wallets, they are exchange wallets. So sometimes when you look at the whales, as you want to call them, that hold a lot of a coin, it's not necessarily one individual, it can be exchanges. And in some instances, those exchanges, they will actually edit their wallet address to say, this is XYZ exchange. So you know, Tron is the same. Look at the Tron wallets. You'll see who owns that. So it doesn't matter so much. When you've got an established product like Polygon or XRP, it doesn't matter so much about the centralization, in my opinion. If there's a brand new coin coming out, like a lot of coins, they are launching at the minute. I'm doing a lot of videos about coins that are launching with a 12% circulating supply. That means that 88% of those coins either haven't been minted or they are in the treasury of the project. So 88% of the coins are held by one individual. Does that make that coin centralized or not? It's a debate, which we're not going to go into on here. But for things like XRP, Solana, I don't care about the centralization of those tokens whatsoever, because the project is now too big. Polygon has been around 5 or 6 years. It's not going to dump 40% of its tokens onto the market. It's just not going to happen. So XRP, top crypto expert forecasts XRP to rocket to 4. I'm not sure if this is... I didn't read that. When I read this article originally, I thought it said it was going to skyrocket to $4 by July. I don't know what to skyrocket to 40 cents to $4 by July, because I don't think it's that far down. I think it's about 50, 60 cents by now. We'll go and have a look. I am going to look at 3 charts today. I'm going to look at XRP. I'm going to look at IMX. And I'm going to look at Aero, which is the coin that Peter suggested. There's a few of you guys out there, and you've got a very keen eye for finding things to look at. And one of them is Peter, one of them is Rick, one of them is Solo Sky. And they're very good at picking projects to look at. Tariq has done the same as well. He found Atom. He found Atom at a very good price. So it's not just me. The community does help with a lot of these projects, whatever. So Ripple, the 6th largest cryptocurrency by market cap, is trying hard to get to $1. We know that. There's a typo. That should say $1.40 to $4 by July. Okay. So he has suggested, Egrag has suggested that we go from $1.40 to $4 by July 24. The latest analysis sheds light on the parallels between XRP's current price action and its performance in 2021. I've seen loads of people do this comparison. I think everything is being held back by the court case. They've given a target of $1.20 to $1.80. Now, I made a video about the XRP price. I made it last June, last May. I made it before the court case announcement. And I said that if it wins the court case, it should go to $1. And then this year, it should go between $1.50 and $3, somewhere in that range. He is suggesting $1.20 to $1.80, towards the lower end of my prediction, which is fine. He's far better at his charts than I am. So he suggests that $1.40 by June, July, and then a range of $1.20 to $1.80. I don't think that's too optimistic. The Bollinger Band signals a bullish move, and that is, who said this? Crypto Cryptoins Tuck, don't even know how to pronounce his name. He has suggested that we are also going to move up. The Bollinger Band is a tool used in TA, now tighter on XRP charts than ever. So we're going to go and have a quick look at the chart. I'm going to tell you what I think. We've seen what the experts say. Now we're going to go and have a look myself. And again, I got my bag of XRP January last year. That's the first time I really bought XRP. Now, the key issue for me with XRP is this. We've been talking about how certain coins have bounced off the support band. XRP hasn't, and this is a worry. Not a major worry. I'm not majorly worried long term. I'm still fairly optimistic. Now, all this red and green line on here that's doing this, okay? These lines here, okay? They are the moving averages. So that's the average price of XRP over a period of time. That's all it is. But they create this band. Now, what's been happening with a lot of the coins we've looked at, we've seen bounces like this, okay? So Solana, for example, has been doing this. Unfortunately, our good friend here has done exactly the opposite of what we want it to do. And that is this white line here. Just let me explain this white line. Because this white line I've been swearing by, because it goes all the way back to June 2022. Almost 2 years. Look at the action of XRP. For 2 years it's done this. And it's had a couple of occasions where it's very briefly fallen below. Except now. We've had this huge drop below. And in the short term, that's a worry. Because when you bounce off the support band, it's like a trampoline. And you go boing and you go up an awful lot. If you can't get above it, it's like being trapped under a sheet of ice on a lake. If anyone's seen The Omen, you'll know what I'm talking about. And what's happened is, when we broke down, which of course happened when Bitcoin had that little bit of a brain fart, we've come up. I'm going to zoom in. We need to see this. We need to see. This is like slow motion replay. Look at what happened. There we go. We've come up and we've hit it. And what did we do? We've come down again. So this is a worry. A short-term worry. And it's a short-term worry because I don't know how long it's going to take us to get back above. We hit the support band. We technically closed and opened below our 2-year trend line. So for me, what should we do? Well, it's a buying opportunity now, in my opinion. Now, I would like to see this kind of action. Or, if I'm not being that pessimistic, this kind of action. That's what I want to see. We're not going to stay down here forever. We're in a bull market. The bull market has another probably 5 months left before it really kicks in, really kicks off. We've accumulated, and this is where you try and pick some gems that have really lagged, if you like. So what I mean by that is that the price of XRP is the same as you could have got it maybe in October last year, before the bull run started. So people who say, I'm too late to buy crypto, I'm too late to get in. Well, you know, this was 27 cents and it bounced. This was 39 cents and it bounced. You probably thought you'd missed the boat on XRP when it was at 74 cents. And again, if I said to you when XRP was 74 cents, I'm going to sell you a bag of XRP for 52 cents, what would you do? You think, well, that's a 40% discount. Now, we're talking about where XRP could go to. And in the bull run, my target is $3 to $5, I think. I think it's $3 to $5. I've kind of got the same price range for XRP than I have for Cardano, $3 to $5. So if we're talking about $5, let's be optimistic here, we're talking about a 9.5x from where we are now. So that's not bad, really, is it? And for a coin that's in the top 5 or 6, it's not bad. So these are the prices that you should be looking to accumulate at. And if you are dollar cost averaging, for example, and you dollar cost average in, you know, every week like this, and this is you dollar cost averaging in, by the way, I'm not just playing noughts and crosses on the screen. So if you've dollar cost averaged in there, what you should do is you should end up with a price of that. So you should end up, for example, with a 57-cent XRP if you've been buying the dips, the peaks, the dips, the peaks, the dips. You should end up with a 57-cent XRP. Now, all right, that's below where we are today, but you buy it at 52 cents, and that will bring your 57-cent average down to 56. If it goes down even further, maybe you end up with a 52-cent XRP. And in the bull run, that will be worth considerably more than it is today. So do not fade XRP. It should be something that's on your radar. I know what all of these so-called experts are saying. XRP is dead. Cardano is dead. Matic is dead. BNB is dead. They're only dead because they are not moving at the speed that these people want them to move. Now, all of these shiny new coins that people are after, they're after them, but they don't have. XRP's got 6-8 years behind it. Matic has got 6 years behind it. BNB has got probably 5 or 6 years behind it. These are long-term, previous bull run tokens that are still here. And you're getting people saying they're finished. Cardano is not Litecoin. XRP is not EOS. Okay, these are different coins. Now, Immutable X, one of my favorite coins, especially when it comes to gaming. I mentioned yesterday about Near Protocol and Nvidia, and I'm going to start buying Near. The other one that I don't own that I wish I did is Immutable X. It's a huge gaming token or gaming blockchain with its own token. Now, they've launched a $50 million, a $50 million rewards program, bounty, if you want to call it. And that is for playing games like Illuvium and Metalcore. So the largest ever Web3 gaming quest and rewards program. Dubbed the main quest, Immutable said it's already secured $50 million in token rewards for players. The company also said the Immutable ecosystem boasts more than 270 titles currently in development, including high-profile gaming projects like Illuvium and Metalcore. Both of these games are among the top 10 titles included in the first phase of the program. Has it got any more information down here? We are showing players what they can expect when we talk about the real benefits of digital ownership, Robbie Ferguson, president and co-founder at Immutable, said in a statement. Sydney-based Immutable has been backed by investors such as Tencent, Bitcraft Ventures and Galaxy Interactive. Now, Immutable X is a good coin. It shot up and I didn't buy it because it was overvalued in my opinion at the price. So I was going to hang on a bit. Now, luckily, we appear to be in a situation where I can now buy a bag of IMX. And why is that? As I was saying a second ago, look what happened to IMX. It's fallen below its support band and it's trapped under the ice. So it's come down. This followed Bitcoin, followed the same trajectory as XRP. It's come back up, it's not broken, and it's come back down. Now, I think $2 for this coin is good. This is where we were in January. This is where we were in December. We had this run up, and I said, I think it's too much for me to buy now. It was up here, $3, $3.50, and I said, I've probably missed my chance on it for now. I'm not going to buy it at $3.50. 350 from here, by the way, is a 75% move up. So we are down nearly 50%, 40% down from where we were at the top, which is fine because it puts us in an accumulation zone where we can buy it. Now again, very similar to Near Protocol, I am not going to be buying more than $500 to $1,000 of IMX. And will I be buying it at $2? I'll start to dollar cost average in, maybe buy $20, $25 of this coin, $50 of this coin every week, depending on the movement. When I dollar cost average in, I weight it. So what I mean by that is I might buy $25 today. And if it goes to 180, I might buy 50. Then if it goes to $1.60, I might buy $60. So even though I'm dollar cost averaging in, I'm tweaking it based on where I think the price is going to bounce from. Because remember, some of these coins, it's like, imagine a bear that's on top of a balloon. And this bear is trying to force the price down. But this balloon is full of air. So where does the balloon want to go? Up. So as the bear pushes the ball down, the further it pushes the ball down, the more the ball wants to bounce back up. And we saw that many times here. We've seen it here, we've seen it here, and then the bear won there. So we see these wicked moves. There is no way IMX is going to go to zero, in my opinion. I am not saying it's going to go to $50 either. I'm saying that it's a good value at about $2. And you know, I'm not one to tell you about coins that are overly hyped. Like, this is why I was saying over here, I'm not buying this coin. It's too high for me right now. Whereas we're now in a situation where this could go down. Maybe it comes down to 165. If we look at where it was before, maybe we come down to 137. Maybe we come down here. Now, the issue that people need to understand about gaming tokens is they're based on usage. If you have a gaming platform, it can be the best gaming platform in the world. But if nobody uses the platform, what's the point? Immutable X has barrels and barrels of games, not just in the pipeline, but coming. That's why I like Gala. Gala has games that you can play today. It takes one game to be an overnight success, and that overnight success has taken them 4 years. But as you know, from musicians, actors and actresses, these overnight successes, they've worked 15 years to get to the point to be an overnight success. These coins are the same. Building a platform that integrates itself into multiple games is no mean feat. That's why Chainlink and XRP and all of these proper projects take time to build. If you said to me, I want you to build a company and I'm going to give you 2 years to do it, and this is what it needs to do, I'd laugh at you and walk out of the room, because some of these projects are super ambitious. But if you give them 5 years, they'll do it. And IMX has got to the point now where I think it has adoption, and that's the key. And that's why I'm so bullish on IMX. I didn't look at it for a while because with a lot of these projects, you can't look at every project and go, this is going to be a success, without anything to back that up. It's a hunch. A lot of these projects, you look at, oh, that's a really good gaming platform, but there's no games on it. Therefore, it's going to be a hunch. Look at look at Sui. They want to bring gaming to their blockchain, but without the games, without the users, it's a zombie chain with a lot of money behind it. IMX is different. IMX is a barrel of fish. You look into it, you shoot away, you catch your fish. That's where it's going to. So I think $2 for IMX, absolute steal. If it goes lower, I'm going to start really buying it. But again, conservative portfolio management. Have a price of how many you would want to buy. So if you have a $10,000 portfolio, you shouldn't be buying more than potentially $200 of this token. That's how it should be. You should be a small allocation, 1 or 2% here in projects like this, 30% in Bitcoin, 30% in Ethereum, then maybe 6 or 7% in each of the other big ones like XRP, Cardano, Solana. That's how you would do it. You don't take your $10,000 and buy $1,000 of each token. That's not how you should do it. You should weight it differently. Now we've got 9 minutes for 2 articles. Where are we going to go with this? Let's see if we can... Oh my word, I didn't realize it was this. Who makes a website with light grey text on a white background? I mean, for that alone, I should throw this in the bin, but we're not, because Peter Schiff has annoyed me on X greatly by telling people how gold should always be your number 1 on your portfolio. Gold should be on your portfolio, shouldn't be number 1. So we're talking about gold, and I've mentioned this before. Gold has been around for about 6,500 years, as far back as modern civilization has been around. Bitcoin has been around for, in the public consciousness, maybe 6 years. I know it's been around for 14 or 15 years, but in reality, people have only come to Bitcoin since, I would say, 2019, 2018. So that's 6 years. We're comparing an asset that's 6 years old with an asset that is 6,500 years old. That element is not fair. So anyway, beside the point. So we're not going to go through the history of gold. That is really irrelevant. But for 6,000 years, humans have valued gold, and for 6 years, humans have valued Bitcoin. So they are not the same. 15 years ago, it was created, but again, you couldn't get your hands on it. Gold has an enormous amount of value, and I have actually argued it's still undervalued at its all-time high. What is the problem with gold? You can dig it out of the ground. You can go jump onto an asteroid, cut a chunk of the asteroid off, bring it back to Earth, and mine the gold. You can mine the gold on the asteroid. There is gold everywhere. Gold is not a finite asset, in my opinion. So gold is all-time high at the minute. Still thinks it's undervalued. America is in a massive amount of debt. It's been a massive amount of debt since it left the gold standard, but it's accelerated over the last 10 years at least. All right, let's get down to the nitty-gritty of this. Crypto is a great way to access this mess. Come on, come on, come on. Where are we? Let's see where it was that I read. Okay. So, gold will most likely do very well in this scenario, but more importantly, foreign governments will likely move away from the US dollar as the global reserve currency over the next 5 to 10 years, and gold is the most likely asset to replace the dollar. That's the key point that refers back to what we were talking about on Monday and Tuesday about the gold, about the American dollar being the reserve currency. Was it 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 65 or 67% of bank reserves around the world were in the dollar, and today it's 58%. So already we're seeing a move away from the US dollar. What are China and Russia and India buying at this moment in time, and have been doing for the last 5 years? They have been buying gold. Why? Because gold is a store of value. Now, you can't have too much gold, even though some people will say you can never have enough gold. And gold is a... So when you say, how does your government support the value of its currency? Well, you can look at its reserves. Does it have gold? Does it have a high amount of cash on its books? Does it have a good economy? So you've got reserves, you've got economy, and then you have military strength. And military strength, believe it or not, is another element to assess the strength of a currency. Because if you're America, you're not going to get invaded. So the currency will hold value. The UK, Europe, stronger currencies because they have military might and they have reserves and they have strong economies. So the strength of a currency is not just based on, we're America and we've got the dollar. It's based on lots of things. And then, of course, the next one is it used in transactions? And the American dollar is. And the biggest transaction in the world is the petrodollar, the amount of money that is sent back and forth for buying and selling oil. Well, Russia and China and BRICS are not going to use the dollar anymore. And they're buying gold. So if they're buying gold, what are they going to be buying gold with? The American dollar. So they're selling off the dollar and buying gold. They're stopping using the dollar for oil. Immediately, those two switches are going to put a massive dent in the dollar. And America has to make moves to support itself in different ways other than going around the world in conflict. And gold, or a store of value on their balance sheet, would help, even if it was gold and Bitcoin. The point of the matter is, we are not at the stage yet where crypto is being used as a store of value with nation states, but we are not far away. Why does a nation state want to use Bitcoin as a store of value and not gold? Because it's bloody expensive to store gold. London has a pre-built 17th century underground vault in the middle of London, surrounded by natural defences, and basically there's a prison under London that's full of gold, and nation states will hold their gold there, but London charges them a fee. Now El Salvador have gone out, got themselves a Ledger Nano, bought $50 million worth of Bitcoin, stuck it on the Nano and stuck it in a safe. Now, which one of those two is an easier store of value? It's the Bitcoin, clearly. So for me, you need to have both. You need to have gold, you need to have Bitcoin, you need to have bonds, you need to have stocks, you need to have property. There's lots of ways to store value. What you shouldn't be doing, in my opinion, is sitting on 50, 60, 70% cash. Because look at what happened in America over the last 5 years. They've lost 25% of their purchasing power. And what that means is everything in America is now 25% more expensive than it was 4 years ago, 3 years ago. So the argument here is central banks are buying gold as a reserve, and when the dollar loses its dominant global reserve status, countries are likely to turn to gold as a stable alternative that they can trust because they already own it. Crypto is not there yet. That's the issue. We are not far from it. So long and short of it, because I want to get on to Aero Finance, at this moment in time, gold is still the de facto purchase by countries. But mark my words, in the next 5 years, we are going to see crypto being used as a reserve in countries' assets. Switzerland are already talking about it. El Salvador, it's already happened. We have places like Argentina. We have places in South America. We have countries who are being devalued against the dollar who are talking about Bitcoin. And why? Because gold can be seized. And gold is expensive. A lot of you might not know this, but during a lot of war that we have, the first thing that the invader does is steal all the gold. And there's many examples of Germany and America sending bullion trains straight out of the countries that they have invaded. And if you don't believe me, go and look it up, because it's the first thing that goes is your gold, and it's taken as spoils of war, let's call it. So gold can be seized a lot easier than a Bitcoin ledger, for example. So bear that in mind as well. In the future, you've got to look at yourself. Do you want to spend $50 to $100 million a year securing gold? Do you want to get a Ledger Nano and stick 1,000 Bitcoin on it? Which is the easiest thing to do? And I know what my answer would be. Now I'm going to move on very quickly. We're going to look at the last project of the day. Gold has always been king and always will be. That is very true, Peter. But you have assumed the sex of gold. Gold could be a woman. You never thought about that. You never thought about that. Right, let's see where we are. Let us see where we are. Now, Aerodrome. The native token is called Aero. Now, this was not what I expected it to be. And the reason I say that is I thought it was a completely different project. There is another project called Aero something else, and I thought it was that. This is a liquidity marketplace on Base. Base, and I can't say the name of the exchange for obvious reasons, but Base is a layer 2 that sits on top of Ethereum, and it is operated by another exchange. Now, I'm not going to connect my wallet, but it's currently going through this is an unsustainable level of APR phase, very similar to Beefy Finance. What I mean by that is it has pairs. I'm going to show you some of them in a minute. But let's go through the benefits. So Aerodrome Finance is a next-gen AMM designed to serve as Base's central liquidity hub, combining a powerful liquidity incentive engine, vote lock governance model, and friendly user experience. Aerodrome inherits the latest features from Velodrome 2 V2, and the NFTs vote to distribute token emissions and receive incentives and fees generated by the protocol. Very similar to something like Orca on Solana, where if you hold Orca NFTs, I believe you can vote, or you get additions to your vote. You can also get additional rewards from holding the NFTs. So it's stable and volatile trading for low fees. 100% of the protocol incentives and fees go to voters. Liquid locked positions in the form of NFTs, anti-dilution rebase for voters, self-optimizing liquidity, and permissionless pools, gauges, and incentives. And I like it when these types of things are shown here. So you've got the emissions, you've got the low slippage, you've got the fees, you've got incentives and liquidity, all in a nice graph. Now, please bear in mind, this is on Base, so it's very new. And that's what I was saying before about the high APRs. They do already have 200,000 users, exceptionally high number considering the size of the chain. $27 million a month in fees is also really high. Just to put that in the context, that's a $350 million a year turnover for a business. That's not a small business already. And that's what sometimes people forget, is you should really be comparing crypto companies with existing companies. How do you make your money? If you don't make money, how do you pay your wages and pay for your servers and pay for your security? You should always be asking that question when you look at projects. 1.5 billion in trading and 745 million in total value locked. So this is not a shabby project at all. Now, if I go to liquidity, these stats didn't update for me yesterday when I was looking at it, but it has pairs. So a little bit like Camino Finance, where you can provide liquidity. And down here, it's got the various different... Oh, it's actually working today, which is nice. So you can see the different pairs. So ETH, USDC and the native token Aero, dollar and USDDC, lots of different pairs, OVN, USD. Most of these you won't have heard of because they're on the base layer 2. But the APR, which you can't see at the minute because it's off the screen on the right hand side, some of these APRs are 45%, 250%, 38%, 181%, and 36%. And they're the active ones. Then you've got incentivized pools. Now, why do liquidity pools exist? Because if you want to buy Solana for dollars and you're not on your exchange that you're on now, you need to go to an exchange to do that. And that exchange needs to do the transaction in the liquidity pool. And that liquidity pool might have $10 million and 50,000 SOL, for argument's sake. You sell your dollars for Solana, and the dollars gets deposited in, and the Solana gets taken out of the liquidity pool. And there's a small fee, and that fee gets paid to the people who provide liquidity. So that $10 million and 50,000 SOL, it doesn't come out of nowhere. It comes from you if you're invested into that liquidity pool. So let's say you have $1,000 and 20 SOL. You put it into the liquidity pool and you'll earn fees. And those fees add up to those APRs, which I'm talking about now. So the ETH USDC one is 36%, or roughly 3% a month that you'll be earning. Now, it's high risk. It's got vulnerabilities in it. I'm putting all of these things out there now. High risk, vulnerabilities, unfound vulnerabilities. You then have day zero issues. Day zero issues are issues that nobody's found. So all of these things are important to understand when you go and use the liquidity pools. Then you have, and I can never say this word, it's impairment loss. Impairment loss is if you put $1,000 of Solana in and $1,000 of USDC in, and the price of Solana goes up 50%, then your $2,000 doesn't go up with that 50% spike in Solana. You only gain 25% of that spike because you're in a pair. Too long to explain right now, but basically what you should be looking for are matching pairs. So Ethereum and WETH, the one that's on the screen now, they're a stable-ish pair. If you look at Bitcoin and WBitcoin, wrapped Bitcoin and Bitcoin, that is a stable pair because they're pegged to each other. But you'll find that what you get as a return is a lot lower. You might only get 4% APR. So think to yourself, why are they paying 36%? They're paying 36% because you're taking on the risk. You're taking on the risk that Ethereum doesn't go up 20%. Because if it does, you're only getting half of that. Because half of your money is in dollars, half of your money is in Ethereum. It's an entire conversation, not for this platform. Not for this stream, sorry, but it will be looked at. So, it's an important project. It's got swaps on here. And again, the swaps come out of the liquidity pool. So if I go to swap, for example, is it WETH? Yeah. If I go to swap that to USDC, for example, yeah, this transaction comes out of the liquidity I've just shown you. That's how the liquidity pools work. You provide the liquidity and then you get rewarded for providing that liquidity in fees. That's the point. So anyway, what do I think of the project? I think this is wholly needed. Every layer 2, every layer 1 needs an AMM or a money maker, a liquidity pool and a swap feature. So for me, Aero looks very good. Now, I do have a couple of other links for it, and I'm not considering what we've talked about so far today. To get to 1208 isn't too bad. So Aerodrome is on here. It's the central trading and liquidity marketplace on Base. So it's number 1 on Base, and we're going to get to the price action in a second. So the Base Ecosystem Fund was launched. Now, there is one tweet I wanted to show you, and that is that they have now had they've sold a share. Now, this is what I was saying about the rewards. Look at some of the rewards there. 11,000%, 4,719%. They are unsustainable. Unsustainable, but they will come down. This is a new platform. So these are the kinds of things you're going to see to bring adoption to their platform. They have to incentivize you. If you're walking down the street and a pretty girl or a hunky guy is outside and he's got himself the nicest smelling coffee in the world and he's waving around in the air and all you can smell is this lovely coffee, and there's a guy there with lovely aftershave on or perfume on, you're going to think, I fancy a coffee, and then you're just going to turn into the coffee shop. This is what this is. That normie WETH at 11,000% is the hunky guy that's drawing you in to buy your coffee from Aerodrome. That's how to look at it. It's an incentive. Now, further down, they did sell a share. There we go. 51,750% is likely unsustainable, and it is unsustainable. But even when it comes down, if you're getting 20% on stable coins, 15% on stable coins, that is achievable long term. Now, where is it? They sold a percentage of their business to a big player, and I can't find it. Maybe I'll make a video about them and cover it in there, but But for me, yeah, I'm very impressed by Aerodrome. Now, price action, which I haven't got on here, there is a problem with CoinMarketCap. And the problem is there's something wrong with the code. And I don't know what the problem with the code is, but it's not working properly. Now, $1.42. I'm going to try. Now, this might cause the stream to absolutely hang. It's only been happening for about a week, and I don't know why it's happening. But when I go to the individual page of a coin, it hangs. Now, it did it yesterday. I'm going to try it one more time. Okay, so let me explain. I think it's going to hang in a minute. I'm going to bring it up. Right, the market cap on the left-hand side is 600 million. We don't know what the maximum supply is. That's a problem. We don't know what the max supply is. But I'm going to close this down because it's going to make the stream hang. Is everybody going to disappear now? Oh. It was so close to being a stream. There we go. It's gone. Hallelujah. Right. I'm just going to wait for you all to come back because the stream will have hung for a second there. Are we back? Or are we hanging? There we go. It's gone. Hallelujah. Okay. So we're back. So very briefly then, $600 million market cap for the number one money maker or liquidity pool generator on Base. Realistically, where should it be? Certainly in the billions. Probably, if you look at the fees generated, and if you look at they're generating $350 million a year in fees at the moment. So that's likely to ramp up. So let's get to the point where they're making $1 billion in fees, which is only a 3x from here. $1 billion in fees would value a company at what? Because that's revenue. And the majority of that revenue is going to be profits. So if you did a 5 to 10x the profits, you'd be looking at a company worth about 5 billion conservatively. It's worth 600 million. So from there, you would argue that it's maybe an 8.5x away from where it could be in the bull run. That's if everything carries on this trajectory, which it's more than likely to do. I'm not saying that it's going to disappear. So Aero for me is a good project, but again, what you should always do is carry out correct risk management because your portfolio should be balanced. So again, like I was saying about NEAR, like I was saying about IMX, if you've got a $10,000 portfolio, you should be allocating 2% to Aero. It's a smaller project. It doesn't have the, what's the word for it? It doesn't have the chain link, the XRP, the Cardano history behind it yet. So the risk you're taking on is it's a new project on a new chain, and it has therefore a lot more upside potential than Chainlink and Cardano and XRP. So your gains will be higher. So the risk you're taking is because it's newer, it hasn't got the history, so you are taking risks. But if you look at where it's come from, February, it was at 32 cents. So it's already, if we do this, hang on, 1 second. If we do that, then we are on a lovely trajectory. And I think it will continue to go up. Yes, we've had a little bit of short-term volatility, but look at this. Pump, retrace, pump, rejection, found this, retrace. Next stage then for me is probably $2. Retest that $2 mark that we retested here. and that would put it at an $900 million market cap. So for me, what would I do? I would take a punt on Aero, and if you don't want to put it into your portfolio, go and buy 50 tokens. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. If this was on Solana, I would be going apoplectic about this. But Solana already has Meteora, it already has Camino Finance, it already has Orca, it's already got those established players. Go and look at what the prices of those projects are in terms of market caps. Now, Base is a serious layer 2, and it's going up against Solana. To go up against Solana, you have to be sexy, and those rewards have just shown you are sexy. They're unsustainable. They're not going to be like that in a year's time, but it doesn't matter. They're just getting people in the door, because once you start to create a regular pattern of usage on your blockchain with adoption, you've made it. So for me, I like Aero. I might make a video about it, actually. You know what? I think I will. Anyway, we've gone over an awful lot. Thanks to everybody. I don't have any final thoughts because we don't have any time. A big thank you to everybody that's tuned in. Remember to smash the like button, like the channel, follow us, press all the buttons. And you know what? I'm going to say something. Tell one person today about Crypto Warehouse. Whatever platform you're watching on, go and tell one person to watch us, because we are only, let me just check, we are only about 50 subscribers away from hitting our goal. And I can't say what the goal is on this channel, but we're only 50 or so away. So if you can, go out, tell some people about us. That would be the way to help us. But until tomorrow, a big thank you for everybody that's watching, and Peter for suggesting Aero. I'll make a video about it now. Thanks, everybody. Take care. Have a great... Oh, it's Friday. So tomorrow, we are live in the studio. So we're in the studio tomorrow. Me and the boy, Oracle, will be in the studio tomorrow morning, live. Probably very tired because it's Saturday morning and we should be in bed. But we'll be in the studio talking to you live on the camera. Can't wait to see you all. And thank you to everybody. And remember, whether it's Peter or Rick or Solo Sky or Tariq, if you've got a project that you want me to review, send it me via email or comment on one of my posts. Can you go and have a look at this? Solo Sky, for example, has managed to find us some real scams that I've covered, because we do cover scam projects as well, and that's important to tell you what to avoid. Peter, Rick, Tariq, all of you in the last week alone have given me ideas for videos. And remember, it's not easy to try and do all of this and think of videos every day. So it does actually help me an awful lot for you to just drop a comment and say, go and have a look at this project, especially if it's a good project, because you've already done some research on it. And that's half the battle for me. Sometimes we get a load of nonsense sent to us, but if it comes from a watcher and a viewer and you found a good project, we'll go and have a look at it for you. So until tomorrow, if you're there, see you then. If not, have a great weekend. See you on Monday. Take care.